So we continue with sociology. We're going to how identities have shaped or have increased choices and creation of new identities. So if identities have created new identities, it would have meant social class has created a new identity, gender has created a new identity, ethnicity has created a new identity, social class, gender, they have all created a new identity. So that's what we need to talk about. So we start. Some sociologists, such as postmodernists, believe that the old certainties of identity are given way to new uncertainties. Identities until fairly recently were considered as to be stable and fixed. For most people, important aspects of their identity were outside their control and decided by birth. For example, being born with a fixed identity. So before now, the postmodernists, before the industrial era means like what we have right now, they felt identity was fixed, it's not contestable. That is the ideology. But now it has changed from that because social class, gender, age, they have all changed things due to globalization. So the example was made here is about being born with a fixed gender identity into a particular social class. So you are a male and you are born into a middle class family. So this continues to be what you were known for. But with globalization, things have changed over time. So until very recently, identities were clear, relatively free and certain in terms of what is expected by others. For example, people had a clear idea about what it means to be a man or a woman because there are relatively few choices available to them in how these categories are defined or in how to live as someone belonging to one gender. The social rules governing how to be young or old, male or female, upper class or working class were clear, consistent and firmly reinforced. This has begun to change, at least for people in more highly developed societies. So, identity was not contestable, like I said earlier. We wouldn't contest for identity. You're a man, you're a man. You're a woman, you're a woman. You're born in a middle class family, you continue to be that middle class family. You're born in a ruling class family, you continue to be that. Then, everything was divined. So everything was just the way it was. But now, things has changed. And what are the reasons why these things changed? The first one is globalization. When we're talking about globalization, we're talking about seeing the world becomes a village, like everybody can see each other. So globalization brings about exchanging ideas, exchanging religion, culture, movement of people in and out of one country to another. So all these things exposes us to things that we couldn't, have access to before now. So that has really brought about a change, uncertainty that has come into identity. So for globalization, a key social change is the development of global economic and cultural influences, which have opened up societies, communities, and individuals to new and different experiences. Like I said earlier, with globalization, because there's globalization, I'm able to be here to teach you here. I'm able to be in this country. Without globalization, it might not be possible. So that means I'm now exposed to new ideas, new culture, and you, with me, you start understanding different aspects of what you don't understand before now. Globalization has brought about that. So in the UK, for example, people eat food from the US, India, Thailand, wear clothes from China, and listen to music from Korea. They have imported a range of cultural ideas, styles, and fashions from around the globe. The cultural trend has resulted in breaking up identities that has increased the choice available. So the exposure to social and economical things that has happened has made us to have knowledge about those things we don't have knowledge about. As a result of that, we start practicing foreign culture, we start listening to foreign music, we start wearing foreign clothes. So we start eating foreign food. Without globalization, there won't be import and export. So with globalization, we start doing things based on even events of outside our country, outside our culture. We imitate things outside what we know, what we are used to. So this is what globalization has brought about. As a result of that, our mentality starts changing on how we say things, how we view things. That is globalization. Then increased choice. For increased choice, they said many people now have much greater choice. On one level, this is simply about what they can buy. A far greater range of goods are available and often affordable. This has led to society being based on consumerism. That means people start buying things. The choice people make have consequences beyond simply satisfying needs or owning something. They have become a way of impressing on others who and what you have. One way of expressing cultural identity, therefore, is through a display of wealth that emphasizes an individual's social status and position. More generally, consumption is linked to identity because it represents a background presentation of the self. What we buy, how we dress and wear, and how we spend our leisure time all reveal something about who and what we have. So the other reason why there is new identity or hybrid identity is because we have more choice than what we used to have. So more choice regarding where we can go to, what we can buy. So most of the time now, due to the fact that there's importation there's importation, we have access to different goods. So if we don't want to buy domestic goods, we could buy imported goods and they will be sold here. We can buy them here. So as a result of that, we have different choices to make. And based on that reason, it changes our perception about who we are and what we want people to call us. That's the first aspect. And the second aspect is that most of the time now, people buy things because they want to show off. They want to showcase their wealth. And wealth is linked to whatever people see you wear or use. So people start coming up with this new identity based on the fact that they don't want to be seen as just a common person. They want to see us being wealthy, being, fashionable. So these things changed because you might be coming from a family might be coming from a working class family, but you might not want to associate yourself with that working class family because you have choice. It depends, because you have choice. So you wouldn't want to wear clothes that the working class family would wear because you want to look like wealthy. You want to look like maybe a middle class person or a ruling class person. So that means there are choices for you. Unlike if there's no choice. If there weren't choices, that means everything is fixed. But the postmodern make it easy for us. So with increased choices, I could choose not to be part of the class I'm born into. So I could choose another class based on what I can put on, what I can afford. So that is the point they are making here. So the first reason why there is new identity or hybrid identity is because of globalization. And when we talk about globalization, it means we become exposed to international things, different culture, different idea, different food, different clothes, different music. And there's also increased choice, which has come as a result of free trade within countries. So between countries, we can buy whatever we need to buy. If it's not available in Libya, we'll buy it from other countries. So these are the reasons why we have new identity. Are they clear? So the point here is, why do we have to, how does the creation of new identity started from? It is because of globalization and increased choice. I think that is clear. Okay.